I read about world, seen the world, liked the world, hated the world only through this window. I was lost in the world of getting my own identity because suddenly this area of visual made me feel at home. I was never at home, even at home. Somewhere something had happened and I was given something in hand. I saw through that eyepiece, I saw the world and I got connected. Not at the cost of spontaneity. This journey should not become monotonous. SPB, the ultimate example. At the end, I am what I see I should like. If I don't like, I don't exist there.
ஹாய் வணக்கம். மனநலம் நலமறி ஆவல் என்ற சேனலுக்கு உங்களை மீண்டும் வரவேற்பதில் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். இன்றைக்கி எபிசோட் கொஞ்சம் வித்தியாசமானது. ஏன்னா இதுதான் நம்மளுடைய முதல் நேர்காணல். நான் முதல் எபிசோடில் சொல்லியிருந்தேன், தனியாக பேசுகிறது போக விளையாட்டு வீரர்கள், கலைஞர்கள், அறிவியல் வல்லுநர்கள், இதர மனநல மருத்துவர்களை பேட்டி கண்டு அவங்களுடைய கருத்துக்களெல்லாம் நம்ம பார்க்கலான்னு சொல்லியிருந்தேன். அது இன்றைக்கி தான் முதலாக சாத்தியப்பட்டது. இன்றைக்கி நம்ம பார்க்க போகிற ஆளுமை தான் எடுத்த துறையில் அபாரமான திறமை மட்டும் இல்லாமல் அந்த அபாரமான ஆர்வம், பேஷனோடு இருக்கார் இன்றைக்கு வரைக்கும். வேறு யாரும் இல்லை, அவர் திரு PC ஸ்ரீராம் அவர்கள். திரு PC ஸ்ரீராம் அவர்களுக்கு அறிமுகம் தேவையில்லை. நம்ம திரைத்துறையில் கதாநாயகர்களுடன் ஒரு சில இயக்குநர்கள் மட்டுமே அறியப்பட்டிருந்த காலத்தில் அவர் நுழைந்ததற்கு பிறகு திரைக்கு பின்னாடி டெக்னீஷியன்ஸ் யார் யார் வேலை செய்கிறாங்கங்கிறத பொதுமக்கள் பார்வைக்கு வர்றதுக்கு இவரும் ஒரு முக்கியமான காரணம். தொடர்ந்து பேட்டிக்குள்ளே போகலாம். பேட்டியை ஆங்கிலத்தில் பதிவு பண்ணதுனால தமிழில் சப்டைட்டில் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். Welcome, Mr. PC sir. Thanks a lot for accepting our invitation and being here. So when was the first time that you realized that you had passion for this profession?
As you grow, everybody, there are two ways of doing it. Going after a profession and then learning. For example, choosing something, I'll go to engineering, then from there they take off, okay, whatever, and then they specialize on that. Like medicine, you go into it. Once you go into medicine, you get deeply involved into that, and then there are various types. For me, this is the window to the world. It's the only window to the world. That's how I see it. I read about world, seen the world, liked the world, hated the world only through this window. Because this is the only thing which I felt at home. That's very important to feel at home. Or else life will be miserable in any profession you take. Yeah. You cannot push yourself for sake of pushing. It's impossible. And my education background is not that good. It all fell in place. If I tell you certain things, it all happened in juxtaposition in my life. I was born in a place where I don't know all these, where I could see a lot of happenings in the road. Then when I shifted to another house, a joint family, all happenings of the film industry was behind me. So there's a studio also. Why I am saying is, at that age, I am not aware of it. So I used to go and watch those things. That is not the reason also. I used to go watch shooting and all, but not to think one day it became, no, never. I was lost in the world of getting my own identity because people around me were very good in their education they were doing. That created a lot of complex, I think, not for me, for my parents, my father. Because I don't have any complex any time in my life. Because if I don't study, that's my strength. If I study, that's my strength. As simple as that. My father was very scared because people around, when they do all those degree courses and all, he was very scared. The more he was scared, the more I became sure of myself. In the sense, because I didn't have hold in anything in the world. Suddenly, this area of visual made me feel at home. I was never at home, even at home. I was a very disturbed child. I used to be very, I don't want to go into that because my sister said, don't tell about all the things you want to do, don't ever say it again. Somewhere, something had happened and I was given something in hand. I saw through that eyepiece, I saw the world and I got connected. That is the path I chose. From there has always been a no looking back. This happened when I was in 5th standard, 6th standard. When I was in school by itself, whenever I have time, I'll go to my friend's father's shoot and just observe it. I don't know why I did a lot of those things, but there's no logical link to do all those things. I just kept moving toward that area. And I used to send my photographs to Anand Bazar Patrika. Different places, A.R. Kumudam, whatever it is, more in Anand Bazar Patrika. They'll send me 10 rupees. That's big money for me. And they would take 2-3 photographs and use it for different articles. So that's the starting point. From there, it's the Film Institute. From Film Institute, the whole world changed in front of me. My hunger started is when you see films from all over the world. You are confined to one small area where your knowledge is of a different wavelength. A Japanese film had made my life restless. I never knew art has so many possibilities to probe. All these things were giving me strength to travel into the unknown.
Which was that film?
Lot. If you take Kurosawa, everybody will say Kurosawa. There's so many films. I'm just saying, everybody will say Kurosawa because now I don't know much will say. When the Institute times, we used to see films of Kurosawa, all those things, slowly, in the first viewing, I could not understand it. We will keep on seeing it. Suddenly, I realized another world of cinema exists, which I am not aware of. I will walk towards that cinema. That is the way I try to explore my mind and go forward. I can't theorize too many things. To me, observation is everything, because I cannot theoretically say anything about whatever I have done, because that's all over. I can't put it back in words and come and explain to you. That's why I don't do interviews, I don't take master class, because to me, I feel it's very, to bring those back in words, it is gone over.
We are talking about passion and ways of sustaining one's passion. You mentioned that somebody gave you a camera and you looked at the world through that camera. What age was it and what was your first camera?
12, 13, it will be like that.
13.
12, 13, I think. And the first camera I was given was Brownie. My grandfather used to take photographs of horticulture plants for them to study. He was using photography only for that. Hibiscus, whatever they take a photograph. My father is also a horticulturist. Thotakkalai ellame. So on the photo எடுத்து அதை டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. நான் நினச்சேன் செடியெல்லாம் எடுக்கிறாங்களே அவங்க. Because initially I was not aware of all those things. On the process I realized that once he gave me the camera, from there the journey started.
Those days you would have had to develop the films.
Yeah.
So how frequently were you exhausting the films?
I used to take every day one role, because I'll tell you how. The cost of film was phenomenally high. But I used to get cut films from RO. A lot of people don't know all those things, what it's all about. See, if you buy a Ilford or any of the rolls, or Kodak Color, it's very expensive. It all fell in such a way, I got cut films. I had one of my friend in Alvarpet having a studio. Everything happened in such a way, I give it one like this, he'll develop and give it, then I'll see and make a collage in my room. So let me shoot about dreams. What is dream? I don't know. It's always interesting to go into the unknown area where it's too abstract. To break an abstraction, it's a process of that is how you evaluate, and everything is stored in your mind, and then if you are in the form of expression, it comes out.
It's interesting that you said to shoot your dream. So how do you go about? Is it that you had dreamt about something and you shoot something similar, or you're talking about shooting was your dream?
Every frame should be a dream. Nothing realistic. The word and all I don't know, but now later only all those words came into life. Those photographs, anybody, for example, if I give it for developing, they'll say it's all bleached out. But I know what it's all about. What they're saying is correct. I have a point there. I will have one black point, reference point. For that, I'll ask them to print. If they don't understand, I'll do my own printing there.
You said your friend had a studio. So were you there when the prints were developed?
That is a very professional way. I can't be there because I can go and be there for some time. That's a simple thing. I can't be there throughout because they have a lot of marriage work those days, and there are very few studios also. There is one Kutichaura where the gang will sit there. That's where I used to spend most of the time. Opposite was the studio. That's how the journey started.
You mentioned that you were not very happy in school. Did you get any recognition for your photography skills at school?
Photography, I never went to that side of school.
You never showed anybody?
No. Photography, they don't know at all. By the time I was kicked out of all the schools. I studied in one school, I was kicked out of that school. Then I went to another government school. It was very easy for me. Everything was free. You don't have to go to class at all. Before that, I was in one of those mandirs where everybody was too studious. And I could never relate to whatever. First, it is not in the mother tongue of what I wanted. மிகப்பெரிய கஷ்டம் என்னன்னா கிளாஸ்க்கு போகும்போது இப்போ பேசுகிற இங்கிலீஷ் தான் லேட்டராக வந்தது. I failed the alien thing not, but it was not like that for other people. Also, I could not comprehend what they were saying. I could not put it into one thing, but I could see everybody going. Till now, I could not. That is a very, I would say, a bad dream in school. But I passed only in one or two exams. One is my Tamil paper. I used to pass easily, and I used to get huge marks for that.
One of the complaints we have against the current education system is it tests memory and also it tests skills in a very limited area. It does not expose a person to multiple skills like life skills, artistic skills, etc. And youngsters have this common complaint when they meet us. They say that when they tell their parents that they are very passionate about music as a career or cinematography or direction as a career, the parents tell them, first do engineering, then do whatever you want. So at that time, when you wanted to join the Film Institute, did your parents say anything like that?
Never. Because by the time I could pass, it took a lot of years, even for an intermediate, I took my own degree time to finish it. But because that's a minimal qualification for institute, I had to finish it off. I crawled towards Film Institute. Once I went in, at that time it was not very popular at all. In the sense, but that it's a beautiful place to study. That is where the whole opened up for me.
Nobody in school was talking about cinematography, and suddenly there is an institute which is teaching cinematography. How was this transformation?
Every day I was learning. I have never learned for 15 years. And next 15 years I was only learning. Everything, see, the simple thing, the institute, by the time, the second day we had to go to Delhi for the film festival, somebody gave me a J. Krishnamurti book. I was very amazed by the way he was writing. When I came back to Chennai, I saw on the paper J. Krishnamurti had come. I went there and sat. This is something which all is self-absorbed, self-taught things. That's how I think I am made of. I can't generalize anything, I will not generalize anything. It's my way of doing things, and whatever I am comfortable, if I am not comfortable today in my shooting, I'll just walk out. Because when you're not comfortable, don't be there. And sometimes you get into a situation, okay, and you should have the guts to get out of it. Your career is doomed, but that is not the point. I walked through all those things, but I stuck to my commitment of doing what I would like to do in harmony with other people. If I am not in harmony with other people, I'll try to make it a harmony. See, for example, I was working with an earlier generation director, but he's very well-educated, well-informed guy. Because of Kamal, I had to do that film. It's a total opposite school. But I made it in such a way, I go talk to him, because there is one tradition which you never cross the line. But you can make them come along with you in harmony. That's what I did. I used to do. Sometimes when I'm not able to do it, life will be miserable. But luckily for me, most of the film I agreed were only when there was a compatibility. And also, I used to do only films once in 2 years at that time, because by the time I started my own advertising company. So economics were taken care. Suddenly I became independent. It's all because of one person, my mother and father. If not my father and mother, I would not have whatever it was happening, because my strength is my family. And even today, that is my strength, always. Because I have a very close circle, I am not an extrovert. In front of the camera, I am an extrovert. More, I become introvert kind. So my circle is very less. Slowly I've read, I don't like to talk about cinema in general.
Yeah. You had mentioned about your parents' role and how your career evolved. Can you tell a little bit more about mom's contribution and dad's contribution?
The world has changed today, totally a different area, okay? Now, cinema is not a maya for me. I never looked up at cinema. When I came into it, the magic of cinema was only what I see. I never looked up on star. I've never been a fan of that kind of cinema. My mother's strength was so much, okay? And my father, at least let him go into this and study. They might think I might start a studio, because they don't know what, at that time, nobody knew what Film Institute was. When I came out and did, it became a big hit. That's a different thing. A lot of people, you're going to keep a still studio, they'll ask. You understand what I'm saying? Those days is a film. Now, that taboo is not there anymore.
Okay.
Only there's a taboo, I would like to go. When you say you don't have to do, no, I will do only that.
Okay.
That was the thing, I don't know, maybe inside I was like that. Now, nobody, it's a different scenario now. I don't want to compare, because every progression is very healthy to me. Every day, I will not look back and say, oh, that is all, it's gone. I find it much more interesting today because of technology is very, gives you another high. I like to evolve along with the technology. But at the same time, you cannot Google you can Google and know, but being there while it's happening is what will make it happen.
Yeah.
You should stand in a place for 12 hours, 10 hours, and if you have to learn, that's a different psyche. You can't Google that. You can Google that, and it's a fantastic. Nobody says that's an outstanding thing. But what is happening in the Googling thing is the state of reality has changed. The state of reality has changed. People would rather Google and be in the working mode rather than real labor.
Okay.
That is what is the biggest problem. That is because in schools we don't have other activities like sports,
Yes.
other things, because our country is like that. If that has been there, there would have been a lot of difference in this.
Yeah.
So there's no shortcut to what you have to do. Because if there's a shortcut, I don't know. Because I don't want to go into that area because I follow my inner passion, inner dream, or whatever you call it. Because what technique do you follow? No, I follow no technique. Whatever I follow, that is a spontaneous reflection of my inner knowledge of that, for which I am in that space for a long time. That space for that in a long time makes me take that spontaneous first move, and if I'm not happy, I'll step back, again take a next move. Again, if I'm not correct, again I keep on doing it till that comfort zone is coming. After that, I won't be looking back, it will go on one speed.
When you mention comfort zone and getting into speed, it's suggestive of the phenomena called flow. If you do something which you are very, very passionate about and involved, you just forget about time running.
That is what I'm saying.
Physically. Can you tell a little bit more about your experience when you start a project?
See, this art has got more also labor in it.
Yeah.
See, when you are trying to, in motion picture photography, when you are trying to achieve certain things, sometimes your imagination and your creation will not fall in harmony.
Okay.
So, you tend to compromise because there are so many people around.
Okay.
Every minute is money.
Yeah.
So what happens is suddenly there's a compromise happening there. You try something and already time has been taken, and again you don't have the time for one, and suddenly there's a compromised way of doing it. I realized that because there are so many people around, and you have to be accountable. You have to be accountable for time, because every minute is money. They will have planned something for the day. I might be a little slow in sometime in the beginning to get the right pitch for it. If every scene has got a pitch, I need that pitch, or else it will not work for me. Whatever the storytelling is, my pitch to the visuals have to work for me, along with the story. Once I get that pitch and the look,
Okay.
then it goes in.
That sounds to me more like a flow. Once it all settles in,
It's all the same
you
thing.
just flow along spontaneously. There is again another debate between spontaneity and very planned execution. So when we say spontaneity or instinctual, it also refers to the person's prior experience. So when it comes to a particular scene, do you believe in lot of homework or spontaneous?
Homework is done, but a different style of homework. Between other countries in India, we do a lot of homework, which is between 2-3 people, okay, not the whole crew. Now that has changed. Okay, there's a full planning put on paper, but I don't put it on paper, I put it on my mind, that's it. Whatever is till the film is over, I will know it. Once the film is over, I'll forget everything. That is always there. But spontaneity, not at the cost of spontaneity.
Yeah.
I'll say everything, but I also want them, I'll change anything I want in between. But within the logic of this, I can't be erratic.
Yeah.
I learned the responsibility because I'm accountable. I use my freedom where I don't cross that boundary. For example, a lot of times I've overshot the budget 10 times more. But I will compensate it through other ways.
Okay.
At the end, the economy will be the same.
Oh.
Because I was aware of this. When you're not aware, you may call it a scientific method, but I didn't think of that way. All the theory is later, which I am talking about, is over. Okay, that's it.
So, if a scene is shot, actors have done their job, director is happy, but you are not happy with how the visuals have come. And if you ask for reshot, have people agreed to that?
Yeah.
They.
I can only say from my point of view, they see me as a part of a creative process. So no question is asked.
Okay.
Because that cannot be same to everybody. Whatever I ask, it will be very relevant. It cannot be out of this relevance area. Even with Swajiga Nation, if I say something, then I am next to him, I might really feel a little bit jittery. Okay. But once I am on the camera, I have the guts to say, sir, one more. But it has only once happened, one more, because of certain other things, not because. But that guts will be only there when I am near the camera. When I come out of it, it's gone.
One more thing I want to ask is about sustaining the passion, because right from your first movie or later in Meendum Oru Kadal Kadai, Mauna Ragam, there is always something that you keep discovering or reinventing yourself. Like backlighting in Mauna Ragam, or the camera being restless in Alai Payude, change in tone. Like there are people who sort of establish and they have their style. This is my style, take it or leave it. Whereas you seem to be reinventing yourself with every movie. Like we can't say this is P.C. Sriram style, because you are trying to do as if you are a newly passed out person from the film institute. For every movie you are going that extra mile to rediscover. How do you keep this passion going?
I don't know the answer, because the journey, this is what I know. This journey should not become monotonous, because everything has got a breaking point concept. Every profession will have. And that too, in Indian film industry, you tend to have limitations. To overcome the limitations, I always try to work against the tide, and that's my way of doing it. Against the tide means take a very complex approach and get caught into it and unwind yourself back to the normal thing, sometimes very difficult. You yourself want to get tangled in while you are doing while you are in the search format, while you are searching. But you don't know you're entangling yourself with another so much of problem. And when you realize that, you have to do things what you want, at the same time come out of it and bring the harmony to the whole unit. Okay. But I am very clear, at the end, I am what I see I should like. If I don't like, I don't exist there. That's very difficult to live that life. Yeah. You cannot be indifferent to what you are doing. Suddenly, how do I agree to you? I don't know, go for an interview.
Thanks for
sometimes
coming.
What I do only like things, and that what I feel at that time, I would have told you sometime, I don't know that. If you don't, I have done things which I don't like also. You cannot be, that's not possible. But that is miserable. Living that life is miserable. Something you see and at the end you don't like what you have done, it's hell for me.
A hypothetical question. Has any director come to you and said, I want that treatment for which you have done for a particular movie. Don't try anything new. I just want that style. Have anybody have the guts to come and tell you that? No, it has not happened.
I came here with a purpose. So that was always my prayer. I'm not here for the Maya of cinema, never. Because some people are awe of cinema when they come in, there's a lot of other things. I was not of awe of cinema, awe of the thing. But you feel you're inside a temple, or I am saying something to, at home I will say.
Okay.
That is what I worship. That is what in my mind is. I'm a strong believer in that, rather than believing in other things. That has been holding on to me for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it will hold on till I last.
Yeah. One specific, about a specific movie. In Alaipayude, the camera is restless. In like Alaipayude in English is the waves
Because
are
of the
restless.
title, I told my, let me be restless. Oh, you want to be yourself now? That's, yeah, correct.
So when did that idea come? When you heard the
Beginning.
title?
From the
Okay.
beginning it is there.
And you made sure that the camera is restless all the time.
Throughout the movie it will be there. For example, film like Chini Come to Padman and all,
Yeah.
those were rock steady frames because a story was told in another format.
Okay.
What the story calls for is what I would rather go for.
Okay.
And till now I've been, if it doesn't sound right in the beginning itself, it's better to say it and come out. Because I have no right to make another people's life miserable.
Yeah.
And I know what I've always found not to hurt anybody, but say things which I communicate myself very clearly.
I was mentioning to you about some parents who say, first do engineering, then do whatever you want. So there was this kid who wanted to pursue music as a career. And the parents said, no, you're doing ceramic engineering. And he says, 4 years are gone. I'm just studying ceramic engineering and dreaming of having a career in music later. Now, what would you like to tell such parents? We're not here to advise anybody, but if you knew those parents, what would you tell them?
If you're really passionate and if it's really in you, you show it in other forms also. You can be studying something else, but still doing it. The inner thing can never
Go away.
But like you said, there are a lot of my people who are working with me finished, except for doctors, everybody is there.
Okay.
Finished engineering, post double this one, studying for 8 years and come and working with me. Like you said, but they are also good because they have to give the best of both to the parents because they are not aware of the outer world, which particularly entertainment. Now people are much more aware of all those things.
Yeah.
Entertainment world, and the person also has got a fear of the unknown because it is not. You should not see another man's journey and try to compare it.
Yeah.
That's a basic thing. I think is looking back, I can find that never see somebody and try to follow that. It can inspire you. It's a different thing.
Yeah. That's a nice point you said, that don't compare yourself with somebody, but get inspired. And get inspired and follow your own path.
Yeah. See, it is all because all these thoughts had come because I failed in life for 15 years. Subconsciously, this is the only thing, this is my exam in life. Every film, it's another thing I have to come out. Because looking back, those things I never took it, never even studied for that. I don't even know what it's about. I just walk in and walk out. Here, it's for me now that whatever people went through, that examination concept, to me, this is the process of life for every project. I go, in one way, I go meticulously into it, like a like a physics student, whatever you say, all these things are internal.
Okay.
It's only internal.
Yeah.
But I study a lot. That is what is helping me to be myself rather than watching a lot. See, that's an imagination concept has to be developed individually. You can't see what is happening is instead of you can't get knowledge out of seeing. That is what is happening now. Including me, I am saying there are too much of knowledge which has come through so many mediums to you, and your imagination is cut off completely. You are always alluding to something you have seen. That is why whatever you do, it looks like as if you had seen before.
Okay.
Whatever you do, I feel I have seen this somewhere. That is a danger for art.
Yeah.
And that to a country like India is very dangerous. But still there are people there will be somebody who will break the taboo and change the whole pattern. That is the strength of art.
Another thing I want to ask you is about sharing your passion. There are a lot of people who have been your assistants to learn, like they haven't gone to a conventional film school, they have been your assistants, and they have all gained immense reputation in their own right. So you were considered as a great teacher. So
No, I don't teach anybody.
they keep saying you are their
I
teacher.
never
So
teach anybody.
can you say something about it?
I will not discuss anything about. In the past of my work, they realized so much of work has to be done. Maybe that is the reason.
All of them say that P.C. Sriram was the motivation and he was my teacher. They say that repeatedly in many interviews.
The thing is, I don't discuss much. There's nothing called guru and all here. Okay. I don't believe in guru because I learn from them.
Yeah.
Reason that the learning process doesn't stop any time. You don't sit into the comfort zone. In a film, they are also my fellow travelers. If they are real passionate, they will observe. That's it. Nothing beyond it. I'm a very bad teacher. I can never teach anybody.
No, there is also a good teacher also thrives at the growth of their students. So we have heard that when you are busy with 2-3 projects, somebody approaches you, a good one, you don't tell them to wait, you just direct them to one of your former assistants. Not many people do that. Any comments on that?
Like I told you, to me cinema is not larger than life. I don't consider anybody as my competition other than myself. So giving somebody some film doesn't bother me. My journey is to continue. It doesn't stop. He might be one more of my person like me competing in the thing. That's it. I don't know if I do this, that will happen. அதெல்லாம் எனக்கு கிடையவே கிடையாது. காரணம் வந்து இது பெரிய அவனுக்கு போச்சு. I am not in that league at all.
Now, one more question about sharing your passion. Bava Chelathurai in a video had talked about how you went to his village in Tiruvannamalai and taught young school children about how to handle a camera, how to look through it and take pictures. How was that experience?
I went through the process. I don't know why I went through. I went through the process. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Because Baba is a very good friend. In the sense, he's my. Whenever I want to read some book, I call Baba and ask him. He will. ரெண்டு பேருக்கு ரொம்ப வருஷமாக பரிச்சயம் உண்டு. ஸோ அண்ட் பாபா வந்து திருவண்ணாமலையை ஒரு லிட்ரேச்சர் ஹப்பாக மாற்றிட்டார். எல்லோரும் அங்கே வந்து பேசும்போது ரொம்ப ஆரோக்கியமாக இருக்கும் அது. அதும்போது ஒரு வாட்டி கூப்பிடும்போது my calling was there. I went.
Now, let me ask you one more question. You have got many awards, national awards, other awards, but that is one award which I consider bigger is, I'm in multiple groups. I'm in a cycling group, I'm in classmates group. And if somebody is a good photographer in our cycling group, people say, he is the Pishi Sriram of our group. So this I hear in many, many groups. So what is your response to that? This, according to me, is the greatest award. That you have become a synonym for a best photographer or best cinematographer.
Maybe they have to see much more better photographs, and then they will know whom to call. It is very comfort. That is, in the past it was like that. No, it's not. Everybody is good here. Everybody should be good. I don't know how that came in, because I am not in that area at all. My world is a different world. I like to travel only without anybody identifying me. I like to be an unidentified flying object, because this profession has got too many things which I've seen getting on the head of people. So at times I have to deny and I have to behave erratically so that I come out of it.
Thanks a lot for accepting to do this interview, taking your time off and being with us today.
I don't know why I said, because I don't know, sometimes there is a calling for, எத்தனை வருஷமா உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் எனக்கு.
ஆமாம்.
ஒரு பர்பஸோடு நீங்கள் இல்லாமல் பண்ண மாட்டீங்க. Because from cycling, at times I see something, you have purpose. That is what connects me to another person in this world. And answer is simple. If I try to put it in theory, that's what everything I don't want to theorize.
No, today's purpose was to talk about passion. Passion for our chosen field. And I could think of only two people, SPB and you. There are many people who are passionate about what they are doing, but when I talk about passion, I normally quote both
SPB is the ultimate example
of passion about what he is doing.
It's an ultimate example.
Yeah.
And that is, and I will call only that a real passion, because I know him very well. I shot one of his films he produced. Something else, he is a very rare human being. Yes. And who like to sing all his life in 24 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll miss him. I'll miss interviewing him. I'll miss listening to his new songs.
We will miss out long, but that era is gone now.
Yeah.
Something else will come.
Yes.
Let us not be negative about it. I am very positive about the future. Yeah. For example, other day I was hearing to one song. It was very good. Then I heard Santosh Nayan's daughter was singing. It was a very beautiful song. See, there might be ups and downs. Without that, you can't have this one. And that to a country like India, so much of population. Yeah. But there's a lot of positivity in this country.
Exactly.
No other country in the world has got this kind of positivity, because I don't look upon Hollywood. If I go and shoot there, I don't think they are God, because they are white. That makes me very angry. A lot of people will think, no, okay, I don't want to go in that area. Okay.
So thanks a lot for accepting to come here for an interview, and we look forward to seeing you more in the future. இதுவரை இந்த நேர்காணலில் இணைந்திருந்ததற்கு நன்றி. இதே மாதிரி பல கலைஞர்கள், விளையாட்டு வீரர்களை நேர்காணல் செய்து மனநலம் பற்றி விவாதிப்பதற்கு திட்டம் இருக்குது. தொடர்ந்து இணைந்திருங்கள். மனநலம் நலமறியாவல். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.